Stay up to date with what's happening in North Central Washington. Go to the NCW Life Community Calendar at ncwlife.com.
It's time for NCW Life News on the NCW Life channel. The latest from the Wenatchee Valley and North Central Washington with Steve Hare, Grant Olson, and sports with Eric Granstrom.
Good evening and welcome to NCW Life Evening News for this Monday, January 15th, 2018. I'm Eric Granstrom filling in for Grant Olson for today and tomorrow. Before we get to today's top stories, let's take a quick look outside of our weather window. Not a bad afternoon as you see a little sliver of blue here and there for North Central Washington as we take a look at our Skyfi cam over Chelan and looking towards downtown Chelan. Cloudy skies for the most part, a little bit of drizzle this morning, and that's kind of our theme at least for the first part of the week. As we get to the middle part, we're looking at another chance of some showers and rain and then it returning for the weekend. 36 for the high in Wenatchee today. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. Yet another fire outside the Dalco plant in Wenatchee over the weekend. Wet weather is causing problems for Chelan County roads, and a crack on a hillside outside Yakima is getting even bigger. First, we begin tonight. 2 people were injured late Friday evening in a 3-vehicle crash on US 97 Blewett Pass. A Good Samaritan who came to the aid of a fellow motorist was injured when another driver struck the vehicle while they sat in the roadway. Washington State Patrol troopers said Dustin Campos, 33 of Battleground, had gotten out of his own truck to help the occupants of a crashed 98 Jeep Cherokee at about 11:25 p.m. when an oncoming vehicle struck the stopped Jeep. The incident began when 25-year-old Jeffrey Stoll of Seattle lost control of his northbound Cherokee about 5 miles north of the summit. Troopers say he crossed the center line and became stuck on the guardrail. Campos stopped his truck and exited to help. He was hurt when a third vehicle was pushed into his own 2015 Dodge Ram while Campos was standing outside of it. The injured were being treated at Cascade Medical Center in Leavenworth. Well, the fire that broke out early Sunday caused damage at the Dalco packaging plant in Wenatchee. Officials with Chelan County Fire District 1 say it happened when a stack of about 9 pallets of material was torched, but there were no injuries. Crews had it under control within minutes of arrival. The fire was visible from South Wenatchee Avenue and the Senator George Siller Bridge. Dalco manufactures polystyrene packaging for the tree fruit industry. Well, the crack widens, that is. New drone video shows a crack on Rattlesnake Ridge in Yakima County continues to grow as a slow-moving landslide threatens the area. The video from Stephen Mack, originally reported by the Yakima Herald, was shot on Sunday.
The crack was first observed in October. It's now grown to about 20 acres in size. Slide is moving at about 1.6 feet a week, which has been consistent since December 20th, according to a Washington Department of Geological Resources spokesman. Yakima County and the city of Union Gap have declared a disaster, but state geologists say they don't expect a landslide event until sometime between late January and early March. Steve Hare, NCW Life News.
Thank you, Steve. Chelan County Commissioners tomorrow will consider revising seasonal road restrictions due to a heavy snowmelt. Commissioners are expected to place additional weight restrictions on some area roads. Seasonal snowmelt and runoff can soften roadways, potentially leading to costly damages. Temporary weight restrictions are put in place annually to protect the roadways from such damage. Only emergency vehicles, school buses, or vehicles possessing a special permit issued by the county engineer are exempt. To keep up on seasonal weight restrictions and roads that are under weight restrictions, visit the Chelan County Public Works website. Well, the third Monday in January is always Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and today, the 15th, actually happens to be his birthday. Next up, the speech he's most remembered for. I'm Eric Granstrom, and you're watching the NCW Life Evening News.
Antique Mall at Cashmere wishes you a happy and prosperous new year. With 15,000 square feet to explore, Antique Mall at Cashmere has something for everyone. For repurposing projects, do-it-yourselfers, and those with a keen eye for making something old fresh and new again, this is the place to find your next project. Antique Mall at Cashmere, their friendly staff is here to help you. Stop on by today.
My name's Robert Duff. Current and previous occupation is architect, engineer, and lawyer. Grew up here in Washington, born in Moses Lake. When I first came to CVCH, was looking for a place to get some dental work done. I was really impressed with the people at the counter. I mean, they were just on top of it. It only took her like 15 minutes to do the job. I didn't feel anything. The technology is so great, you don't even realize you're at the dentist. These people are so professional. I would have any one of these people in my home for dinner. These people are family.
Travel enhances your life in every way. Let the travel professionals at Journey Travel and Tours help you plan that dream vacation. Don't leave the important details to those nameless, faceless online agencies. At Journey Travel and Tours, our goal is to build relationships that last a lifetime. And when you do need help, we have a 24-hour helpline that is routed to one of the agents in our office. When you think travel, think Journey Travel and Tours. It's where your journey begins. Like us on Facebook, and you could be one of our monthly winners.
Good evening and thanks for watching. NCW Life honors the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. with a rebroadcast of the I Have a Dream speech he delivered on August 28, 1963 from the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C.
Now is the time to make real the promises of democracy. Now is the time to rise from the dark and desolate valley of segregation to the sunlit path of racial justice. Now is the time to lift our nation from the quicksands of racial injustice to the solid rock of brotherhood. Now is the time to make justice a reality for all of God's children. It would be fatal for the nation to overlook the urgency of the moment. This sweltering summit of the Negro's legitimate discontent will not pass until that is an invigorating autumn of freedom and equality. 1963 is not an end, but a beginning. Those who hope that the Negro needed to blow off steam and will now be content will have a rude awakening if the nation returns to business as usual. There will be neither rest nor tranquility in America until the Negro is granted his citizenship rights. The whirlwinds of revolt will continue to shake the foundations of our nation until the bright day of justice emerges. But that is something that I must say to my people who stand on the warm threshold which leads into the palace of justice. In the process of gaining our rightful place, we must not be guilty of wrongful deeds. Let us not seek to satisfy our thirst for freedom by drinking from the cup of bitterness and hatred. We must forever conduct our struggle on the high plane of dignity and discipline. We must not allow our creative protests to degenerate into physical violence. Again and again, we must rise to the majestic heights of meeting physical force with soul force. The marvelous new militancy which has engulfed the Negro community must not lead us to a distrust of all white people. For many of our white brothers, as evidenced by their presence here today, have come to realize that their destiny is tied up with our destiny. And they have come to realize that their freedom is inextricably bound to our freedom. We cannot walk alone. And as we walk, we must make the pledge that we shall always march ahead. We cannot turn back. There are those who are asking the devotees of civil rights, when will you be satisfied? We can never be satisfied as long as the Negro is the victim of the unspeakable horrors of police brutality. We can never be satisfied as long as our bodies, heavy with the fatigue of travel, cannot gain lodging in the motels of the highways and the hotels of the cities. We cannot be satisfied as long as the Negro's basic mobility is from a smaller ghetto to a larger one. We can never be satisfied as long as our children are stripped of their selfhood and robbed of their dignity by signs stating for whites only. We cannot be satisfied as long as a Negro in Mississippi cannot vote and a Negro in New York believes he has nothing for which to vote. No, we are not satisfied, and we will not be satisfied until justice rolls down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream. I am not unmindful that some of you have come here out of great trials and tribulations. Some of you have come fresh from narrow jail cells. Some of you have come from areas where your quest for freedom left you battered by the storms of persecution and staggered by the winds of police brutality. You have been the veterans of creative suffering. Continue to work with the faith that unearned suffering is redemptive. Go back to Mississippi. Go back to Alabama. Go back to South Carolina. Go back to Georgia. Go back to Louisiana. Go back to the slums and ghettos of our northern cities, knowing that somehow this situation can and will be changed. Let us not wallow in the valley of despair. I say to you today, my friend, so even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification, one day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted, and every hill and mountain shall be made low, the rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is a faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. This will be the day. This will be the day when all of God's children will be able to sing with new meaning, "My country, tears of thee. Sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And if America is to be a great nation, this must become true. And so let freedom ring. From the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire, let freedom ring. From the mighty mountains of New York, let freedom ring. From the heightening Alleghenies of Pennsylvania, let freedom ring. From the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado, let freedom ring. From the curvaceous slopes of California. But not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi, from every mountainside. Let freedom ring, and when this happens, and when we allow freedom ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, "Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last."
You're watching the NCW Life Channel Evening News. Coming up next, your sports update, followed by today's feature story. That and much more still to come on the NCW Life Evening News. Stay with us.
For plumbing, heating, or cooling repair, Patriot will be right there.
Time to replace your home comfort system? This Lennox dealer can help.
If it's time to replace your old furnace or air conditioner, Patriot Plumbing, Heating and Cooling gives free estimates. Call Patriot today.
Patriot Plumbing, Heating and Cooling will give your home a hug.
Lennox, innovation never felt so good.
Hi, I'm Cordell Schroeder, owner of East Wenatchee Mobile Storage.
If you're thinking about making a move anytime soon, check out the East Wenatchee Mini Storage brand new mobile storage service. They drop it off at your location, you pack it, and they pick it up and store it in their protected warehouse at East Wenatchee for as long as you need. When you're ready, they'll drop it off at your new home or office. East Wenatchee Mini Storage is excited to offer this brand new service to our region.
Call 509-884-8643 or find us on the web at ewministorage.com.
And now it's a sports update on the NCW Life Channel.
And it is a sports update. Let's start a recap of the weekend by heading back to Friday on the Les Schwab Prep Scoreboard. Wenatchee hosted the undefeated and third-ranked Moses Lake Chiefs live on the NCW Life Channel. The Panthers used a feisty second quarter to shave what was once a 13-point Moses Lake lead to 6 at halftime. But in the second half, the Chiefs held Wenatchee to just one field goal, outscoring the Panthers 34-8 to win at 57-25. Also on Friday, Davis beat Eastmont 51-41, and Kashmir held Okanagan to 19 total points. Haley Van Lith Lith with 28 as Kashmir won it 68-19. On the hardwood for the boys on Friday night, Wenatchee used a stifling defense and a good combination of outside shooting by Cass Riggin and inside presence by Darius Carlson to build a big halftime lead and go on for a 56-42 victory over Moses Lake. Ian Dunn and Mark Miller had the call here on the NCW Live channel.
And now it's a sports update.
Lost handle, but he regained it. Good job there. Here's Riggin, jumper. Three-pointer up and good. First bucket for Wenatchee. Blauman, hesitation dribble, back out. In the corner to Riggin, three-pointer up and good. Handle, back to Riggin, to the hoop, the floater off glass, missed it. There's Carlson, the rebound, and the putback hangs on the rim and falls in. Parmenter guarded tightly by Phillips. Parmenter over the top of Carlson. Carlson off glass and in.
Carlson finished with 19 points while Riggin had 11 for Wenatchee. Also Friday, Eastmont's losing streak reached 7 with a 76-62 loss to Davis. Kashmir unbeaten in the new year, downing Okanagan 60-57. Turning the page to Saturday in girls basketball as we go back to the Les Schwab Prep scoreboard. It was Sunnyside stopping Eastmont. Wenatchee got a big night from Allie Hallberg with 20 points. Panthers eased past Eisenhower. Brewster beat Chelan. Cle-Elum clobbered Cascade. Manson won by 8 over Bridgeport. And Waterville Mansfield celebrated homecoming with an overtime win over Liberty Bell. On the boys' side on Saturday, as we flip the scoreboard there, Wenatchee made it a 3-game sweep of the week with a 62-51 win over Ike despite Isaac Wellborn's 28 points. Eastmont fell to Sunnyside 82-71. Brewster beat Chelan. Cascade topped Cle-Elum. Bridgeport bested Manson by 6, and Waterville Mansfield made it a sweep over Liberty Bell 60-33. The Wenatchee Wild hosted West Kelowna in a 2-game weekend series at the Town Toyota Center on Friday. They were looking to halt a 3-game losing streak. It was tied at 3 heading into the third. Arch Ecker had the call on the Wenatchee Wild Hockey Network.
Threw on the back door for Head. He'll pick it up back behind. Rolled in front, shot, and a score. Back to Morton, top of the near circle. He's in, he shoots, he scores! Vanderbeck in, shot, stick save made, rebound. Zek, shot, just sent it high and wide. And that brings us to the horn as the Wild were looking for the winner there at the buzzer. The Warriors have the puck. And Lombardi's going to feather it up through center. It's over to Steele. Steele comes in, back across, shot, score. Murphy does it again. That's the second time that R.J. Murphy has ended a game in overtime for the West Kelowna Warriors against the Wild.
So the Wild would be looking for payback on Saturday to stop a 4-game losing streak. Maybe it was the superhero Batman uniforms, but Wenatchee would not be denied in a 6-0 win.
Lambus, one-touch passes for Morton. Morton in, shot, he scores! Still with it, feeds it back up top, shot, save made, rebound, score! Snaps it up top, midpoint. Sasaki shot, rebound, score! Sam Hessler. Moment tried to walk out front, slapped away. Loose puck shot, score! Weatherby up on the left side. He shoots, he scores! Play back underway, shot, score! Slava Demon from dead straight away. Back into the corner, and that's it. As the horn sounds, the Wenatchee Wild pick up the shutout victory tonight.
So the Wild get the victory. They'll be on the road at Merritt tomorrow. Finally, in the NFL over the weekend, some exciting games. Winners Philadelphia, New England, Jacksonville, and Minnesota. That sets to the conference championships on Sunday. We continue on our Martin Luther King programming today with our featured story. Saturday morning, the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center hosted Wenatchee's annual Social Justice Awards. Jay Seebeck has the story.
While today is the day that we celebrate and honor the accomplishments of Dr. King, the Wenatchee Valley Museum got this celebration started early on Saturday. To start the event, the museum hosted the annual Civil Rights and Social Justice Awards ceremony. Prominent members of the community were in attendance, as well as many interest groups that aimed to share culture and bring people of all walks of life together. City of Wenatchee Mayor Frank Kuntz had this to say.
I'm just starting my 7th year as mayor. I have yet to miss one of these events. This is an important day in our valley, as we have every single year. Our city takes it very seriously that we are trying to be as inclusive as possible, that we recognize our differences, we try to celebrate those. Our Diversity Council does a wonderful job of making sure that we keep our eye on the ball. And we are not perfect, but we work really hard to try to make sure we are as inclusive and welcoming as possible, and we celebrate all different cultures and religions in our valley. So it is an honor and pleasure for me to be here today. I do know the nominees are incredible and very special, and every single Martin Luther King Jr. weekend is special for me and our city as we celebrate all of those that do such great work in our communities.
In addition, Jesse Cohen was honored with the award for individual activism.
Really, this award is for my children and for your children. I thought today that I would share my dream with you. And my dream is that one day there will no longer be a need to celebrate leaders of civil rights and social justice, because those words and ideas will be a part of the fabric woven into all of our communities across this nation.
Additional awards for civil rights and social justice were given to Rufus Woods of the Wenatchee World, the YWCA of North Central Washington, and McKenna Schaub for the Youth Award. Stay tuned to next week's NCW Life magazine for the full episode on the Civil Rights and Justice Awards. I'm Jay Seebeck, NCW Life News.
Thank you, Jay. Stay right there. We'll be back with your forecast next on the NCW Life channel.
Bay Equity Home Loans in Wenatchee, serving all of North Central Washington. We make it our priority to learn all about your financial needs. Whether you're buying your first home, refinancing, or want a reverse mortgage, our mortgage professionals are ready to guide you through the loan process. We have a wide variety of loan products to fit your family's needs. Call Bay Equity Home Loans of Wenatchee today for your pre-approval. 509-888-0466.
Honey, I got the space heater.
Make sure you survive winter. Call Central Washington Heating and Air before it's too late. This winter, don't get shocked by the cold. Call Central Washington Heating and Air today.
Well, Washington and North Central Washington, pretty dry and mild temperatures today, although the weather turns more unsettled for the rest of the work week. The first frontal system will arrive tomorrow, with a second wetter frontal system arriving Wednesday night into Thursday. Anticipate mainly rain and/or rain and snow mix in the valleys with snow in the mountains. Cooler and potentially snowy pattern is possible for the weekend. So tonight, expecting fog and some possible rain after midnight. The low tonight down around 34. Tomorrow we'll see rain mostly in the morning, otherwise clouds and fog with a high of 40. Tomorrow night, cloudy and dry with a low of 31. Then we're starting to see another system move in on Wednesday with the develop of the midweek chance of snow earlier in the day. Wednesday with just a covering of up to a half an inch, then turning to rain and fog later in the day with a high of 36. Wednesday night, rain gradually turning to snow overnight with less than a half inch possible, low of 31. Thursday, snow may linger in the morning hours, then turn to rain through midday with a high of 39. And then another system coming to us by the weekend as well. So if you like clouds, you like fog, you like drizzle, you like a little snow off and on, this is the forecast just for you. Well, that's going to about wrap it up here for today. Just a reminder that we appreciate you joining us for the news tonight. For more on these stories and others news from North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website, ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-NCWL. That's 888-6295. Also, keep it right here on the NCW Life channel tomorrow morning for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with host Dan Kuntz and Steve Hare. We'll be back with a look at the day's news. Thanks for joining us. Have a good evening.
This has been NCW Life News on the NCW Life channel. For more news, log on to ncwlife.com. Like us on Facebook and follow NCW Life channel on Twitter.
Weekly.
For the newest tech, coolest tech, and the craziest tech stories available on the interwebs, tune in for your weekly tech update right here on the NCW Life channel.
I'm Nicholas Kawili, music director and conductor of the Wenatchee Valley Symphony Orchestra, and you're watching the NCW Life channel.